How you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Good News Nation. I'm your host, Bonio Demnem, and I'm with two very important guests here. I got Andrew, and I've got Megan. Brilliant stuff. So, a quick bit of facts for you guys. Today is a very important day for our nation, as if you are part of a LGBT or same-sex couple, you are allowed to register to marry. Very good to have you, Megan, here. Megan herself is a member of the DIT LGBT Society. So, Megan, talk to me about how you got involved in society and what you guys did to push the yes vote.
Well, I joined the society because it's kind of a thing that I hold very close to my heart. I really wanted to get involved in pushing the yes vote for everyone last year, and I think we did very well. We did the Stand Up for Love, and we had we had
Patty Bliss was there. That was really cool.
Patty Bliss was there. Hudson Taylor were there. Yeah, it was really good.
In 64 days, history will be made. In 64 days, what will happen will be what your sons and daughters and nephews and nieces will roll into your house about with their history books in 20 years' time.
We gave out stickers, we gave out flyers, we vote yes, we were trying to get that. We went around to people's houses and we went to talk to them, find out what they were voting, convince them to vote yes if they were voting no, and
So you went
give them
doors?
give them the information that they needed of why the yes vote was the best vote.
The yes vote was the best vote. That rolls off the tongue.
It does.
Absolute poetry on the spot there. Love it, Meg. Love it. But look, anyway, guys, it is November, and next month is Christmas, the time for giving. One particular person that's known very well for giving a lot is a lovely lady called Amy Concannon. Or Concannon. My mistake, Amy. Sorry about that. Amy's about 19 years old, and for the last 3 years she's been giving 20 shoe boxes every Christmas to our city's homeless. If you're not exactly too sure what I mean, here's a quick clip.
My name is Amy Concannon. I'm 17 years old. I go to Loreto Dalkey and I live in Glenageary in Dublin. Every Christmas I give out shoeboxes filled with essentials and gifts to the homeless in the streets of Dublin.
Wow, isn't she amazing, guys? Look at, guys, I want to know what you guys think about that. Andrew, starting with you, what did you feed off there from Amy?
Well, from what I just saw there, Amy seems like an amazing person. She took the initiative. She was late for the actual giving to the Team Hope and sending actual shoe boxes to Africa and those countries, and she was like, no, look, I have the box. This idea, I can utilize it. I can change it. I can make it something amazing here too. So she said, let me get those shoe boxes and give it to the homeless. So she took those shoe boxes and then supplied it with supplies that could have been used for the homeless, like toupees, blankets for warmth, other hygienic equipment, and she just gave them out to the homeless people. And it's like, what an amazing idea. Why hasn't more people thought of this? It's just so amazing. So just shows how much the youth or people our age can just
It's mad, isn't it?
I know. So
well, look at Meg. Do you want to add a bit to that about the inspiration we just saw there?
I think it's pretty incredible because I know a lot of people. You see someone homeless on the street, you walk by them, maybe if you don't have any change, you just pretend you can't see them, you don't look in their direction. But it was really good that she went out of her way to make one thing into a whole other thing where she couldn't send it to Africa, so she sent it to the homeless people. And I think it's just very impressive. That I think it's something we could all learn from.
Yeah, it is real. That's something we can all learn from. Well, speaking about people of charitable interest, Run in the Dark is a charitable event held throughout the year in support for the Mark Pollock Trust. Now, the aim of this trust is to help people with blindness.
Darkness sweeps around the world on one evening in November. Thousands of runners will join our mission to fast-track a cure for paralysis.
Earlier today, I had a chance to speak to Pierce White, the founder of Run in the Dark, and here's what he got to tell. Here's what he said. So, can you tell us a bit about Mark and what happened in his life that led to the creation of the Mark Pollock Trust?
Sure. Well, Mark Pollock is a guy from the north of Ireland originally. He went blind in one eye when he was 5, and then he was, as a result, not allowed to play contact sports, rode at schools level for Ireland. He subsequently moved down to Dublin and went to Trinity College, and got heavily involved in rowing. And 3 weeks before his finals, which was in 1998, he went blind in the second eye. So following that, he made a conscious decision to get back into sport, become an outdoor adventurer, and he went back rowing as well. So as an outdoor adventurer, he did things like coast to coast in New Zealand, he did the North Pole Marathon, he did the highest altitude marathon in the world, so putting us all to shame. But to mark the 10-year anniversary of going blind, and this was after he'd gone back rowing and won silver and bronze medals against fully sighted people in the Commonwealth Games, he was the first blind person in the world to race to the South Pole. Fast forward a few months later, and he fell from the second story window of a house and is subsequently paralysed from the waist down now as well. That was on the 2nd of July in 2010. Mark spent 16 months in hospital. So as a result, some of his friends got together and effectively decided to set up a trust initially to cater for the capital and ongoing costs of somebody that was in Mark's situation. So that was, I suppose, really early 2011, and that was the start of the Mark Pollock Trust.
So I'm sure you guys do a lot of fundraising relevant to the trust. Could you just please tell us about whereabouts the fundraising goes to?
So I suppose, as I said, initially what we decided to do was, this was meant to be a trust for an individual that was set up. And what happened is, after we did the first lot of fundraising, which came really out of an event that was our Run in the Dark, which has become quite well known, we decided that we had a bigger responsibility because there were an awful lot of people backing Mark. So really we've evolved the mission over the last few years, and our mission now is to find and connect people around the world to fast track a cure for paralysis.
Speaking of Run in the Dark, I'm aware that there was a Run in the Dark event recently. Could you just please tell me about the significance of the Run in the Dark event?
Well, again, when we got together, this concept was kind of conceived in my kitchen. We had a few friends got together. Mark had been an outdoor adventurer, so we wanted to do something in the sports world. And we bandied around a few ideas, one being that we should do an ultra marathon or something like that. But from a fundraising point of view, we wanted to have a mass participation event, an event that loads of people could get involved with. So initially what was called Run for Mark in the Dark, and eventually became the Run in the Dark, and subsequently has become the Lifestyle Sports Run in the Dark, because we've had great sponsors over the last few years in lifestyle sports. We have grown the event, which is a 5 and 10k run. For people can walk the 5k. It's for all abilities, and the significance of the darkness was really A, to make it a little bit different, but B, to symbolize Mark's blindness as well. And we've grown it from, in the first year in 2011, we had 3,500 participants, and it was actually just last Wednesday, so we're all a bit shattered in the office still, and we had over 20,000 participants in 49 different locations around the world.
What exactly is Team Unbreakable?
Team Unbreakable is another fundraising mechanism that we do. So there was a documentary that was made about Mark called Unbreakable, the Mark Pollock story. And really what that did was it looked at Mark's life through the years and more, I suppose, subsequently since his accident and what's been going on. And really, I suppose, a lot of what he's been empowered to do through the funds that were raised through the Mark Pollock Trust. Team Unbreakable is something where people can literally get involved on a regular basis to help us raise funds, and as a result we become more engaged with them, and they get a copy of the documentary and they get other bits and pieces. But there are fantastic supporters that back us on a regular basis.
And why the term unbreakable? Whereabouts does that come from? Like,
I suppose when someone like Mark Pollock, when you've I suppose gone through the adversity of blindness and then subsequently paralysis, and you're still determined to try and get back on your feet. I thought it came from the director, but I thought it was a pretty aptly named documentary.
Now, a bit about yourself now, Piers. Yourself in the trust, what is your role exactly as the head of the Mark Pollock Trust?
The role is, I suppose, constantly evolving. As I said initially, my background is I worked in telecommunications for a few years, had my own business for a while, I was a teacher for a short period, and Mark is just a friend of mine. No background in fundraising or the charity sector whatsoever. But when something like this happens to a friend, you want to try and help them out, and I try and, I suppose, compartmentalize and take the emotion out of running an organization like this, because if we can raise enough money, then we've got a good chance of actually trying to make a difference. So really, I'm trying to grow it from the ground up, trying to build the run. Probably is around 85% of our fundraising for the year. That takes an awful lot of effort, but we want to try and systemize and engage with our followers to make sure that they don't just think that this is a one-off event where we take their money and don't engage with them on a regular basis. So we've got communications, we've got PR, we've got building the organization, and then that's only on the fundraising side. On the other side of things, we're trying to connect with people around the world to fast track a cure. And I suppose one of the most exciting things that we've done in the science is last year we spent 3 months in LA over in UCLA working with some of the top neurology scientists in the world. And effectively, you may have seen Mark has an exoskeleton, which we raised money for through the 2012 Run in the Dark, and I was walking him in that on a daily basis. He was taking a pharmacology drug, and we were stimulating his nervous system to see what effect it had when he was walking in the exoskeleton. So really, I was thrown into that. And that was when I was sort of doing the fundraising at night, So I mean, it's a pretty full-on role. We've got a small organisation. We've got about 6 people in the office now. A couple of years ago, there was basically me. So really trying to grow an organisation from the ground up. So it's a bit like when you're running a small business that you're wearing 20 different hats a day. But at the end of the day, we know we're going in the right direction, because Mark, a paper came out last week to prove that last year he was the first person in the world to voluntarily move his leg as a paralysed person. And we're constantly trying to raise more money to make sure that we can take advantage and take opportunity of things that come our way. We've just started that program that we spent 3 months in UCLA with last year. We just started it in Trinity, so we brought the American scientists over to Trinity, and now we're putting that whole project together. So I can guarantee it's never a dull moment in the Mark Balk Trust.
Wow. I'll tell you what, honestly, Pierce, the story of Mark is absolutely inspirational. And just hearing how determined you were to help your friend is highly uplifting. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here, Pierce, and I can't wait to have you again. Guys, having a chance to speak to someone as inspirational and determined as Pierce and going to learn about Mark was really cool. Yeah. Really cool. But look, guys, a bit more positive news. Ebola is gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. Like, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? We're going to 2016 now, and it literally feels like all last year, the year before, Ebola here, Ebola there, Ebola everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, humanity won. Really cool. We bet the Terminators. What do you go with you first, Megan? Okay. What do you think about Ebola being gone?
I think it's pretty good, because I think it's very good for society as well, because we had the whole thing of, should we be curing people? Should we be looking after our own people? Should we be letting people in? Should we cure them first? And I think it's good, like all that stigma's gone. Like, it's just like we can all carry on, and it's not a problem anymore. It's not a thing that people are going to be prejudiced about anymore. So I think that's a good thing.
Hopefully it can get rid of all the prejudice and Ebola. But Andrew, do you want to add anything to that there, please?
Well, as Megan just said, it's like the prejudice is gone, and now people can stop having this idea as like, oh, you have Ebola. I don't know if you have Ebola or not. Don't come near me or something like that. Don't come near me. Have their own little barrier around themselves. But now it's like, man, as you said, humankind has won. We got him.
Like George Bush said, we got him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So now we can make another step forward. Like, modern medicine has cured a disease. Now we can now have hope. Like, who knows, with this momentum we have, we can find other diseases that we can cure. It's just a step forward to a brighter future, I think.
So basically, what we're telling disease, we will find you. You'll hurt us for a bit, and we will kill you. Disease. But look, guys, let's moving on a bit there. We've got to learn a bit about Megan and her work with LGBT. Andrew himself here is part of an organisation called Team Hope. Andrew, want to tell us a bit more about Team Hope?
Okay, that's no problem. Team Hope. So basically, Team Hope is the idea Amy branched off of, which was given shoeboxes. So the original idea was to make these shoeboxes and fill them with Christmas gifts. So you ship these Christmas gifts to countries like Eastern Europe, the former Soviet Union, and Africa. And how this works is like you get your box, you fill it in with the Christmas gifts that you have previously used or want to give away, and you go off to one of the local drop-off points in your local area, of course, and you get it in before November the 10th, and then we'll ship it off.
Really cool. But look at anyway, if you guys aren't exactly too sure what Team Hope do, here's a quick clip to show you a bit more.
What's this? It's a little notebook. Some sweets. Look at this. You get some pens. The skipping rope. Do you like to skip? Oh, look.
Now, guys, I'm here with a lovely lady called Budor. We all know of cancer and how it has a devastating effect in the lives of our family members or someone we may know. Budor here is an absolute fighter, and I'm so happy to have her here. I really can't wait to get to know about her story and her run through with cancer. So, welcome, Budor. How are you keeping?
Good. How are
Might as
you?
well shake your hand and shake it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So look at you were 13 years old when you first found out about
Tumor.
the tumor.
Yeah.
So, what did the doctors tell you?
First, I was 13, so I just started my teenager years, and I was changing a lot, so I thought it was something normal. But then once I felt pain, I told my mom, and I went to the doctor to see it. And yeah, I had a tumor. Like every teenager would have fiber, but mine was bigger than normal.
So, what type of tumor was it? Sorry.
It was a fibroadenoma tumor.
Fibroadenoma. Right. So, like 13 years old, finding that you have a tumor, I can't imagine what was going through your head, but can you please tell me what were you thinking when you heard that?
Yeah, first thing I thought I'm gonna die, but I didn't. But yeah, I really didn't want to die, and I thought I was going to lose my hair, and because I seen it on TV or go through chemo, all of that, and I was just still young, so yeah, it was hard for me to cope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can assume when you were still in school, when you found out all about this, how did you cope with school?
For school, it was okay. I tried not to tell anyone, even like my friends and all. It was just in the family, no one knew about it. I didn't take it as serious. Well, it was serious, but I didn't think of it as much. But yeah, it wasn't easy for me, but I tried my best.
Right, yeah. So I assume that time your family were with you when they were there to support you?
Yeah, I had my family when I first started this, the tumor, when I had it first.
And stuff. And now here, your family are not with you.
Yeah.
How are you coping with your past experiences without your family there to support you?
Yeah, so it was fine for me until they wanted to remove it, but the doctor told my mom that I couldn't until I was 18 because if I removed it, it would grow to an actual breast cancer. But what I did is, once I turned 18 and I moved to Ireland, I started feeling pain again, and it was big. So I went to the hospital, and they told me that mine was much bigger. They remove it normally on 3 centimeters, but mine was already 8 centimeters, so they had to call in an emergency surgery. And that's what they did, and within 3 weeks I had my surgery done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a scary experience.
It is.
Like when I was younger, I had a minor surgery, but I was so scared, literally praying every day. But look, when you had your surgery and you found out that you're all clear, how did you feel?
It felt really nice, especially like having the surgery. I'm a kind of person that I don't want anyone to force me on anything, and being under anesthetic was hard for me. So I had good friends and all of that, and I went through surgery, it was fine, but then once it was time for me to find out that if it was cancer, fibroadenoma, but once I knew that it was fibroadenoma, I was so happy. Although they took it out and all that, I was just so happy that it's not cancer.
You're overjoyed, I
Exactly,
assume.
yeah.
That's absolutely amazing.
It is.
But right now, how do you feel now? Talk to me.
It feels amazing. And last week was my first checkup after the surgery, which was on January. And they told me there is no signs of it coming back or anything. And I'll be going for checkups for the next 2 years. And hopefully I'm fine for now until then.
That's an absolutely amazing story, Badar.
Thank you.
I'm so happy they got to hear that. But look, so thanks for coming along.
Thank
I hope
you.
you have
Thank
a
you for having
lovely
me.
day.
You
Love
too.
it. But now, guys, moving on to some more good news here on the Good News Nation. See, we've got a word that SeaWorld are ending off their live orca shows. So if you don't know what exactly a live orca show is, it's I'm sure you guys have seen them little clips probably on YouTube or something. You see the whales doing their back flips, their front flips, their side flips, and all flips you can think about. So it's over. They're getting rid of that. Like Ebola, it is gone. Meg, what do you think about that?
I think it's a very good thing because animals bred in captivity, it's nice to look at, but not good for them. And I recently heard that when these whales, they only live in captivity for 9 to 13 years, whereas in the wild they can live anywhere between like 30 and 100 years. So it's a big, it's a big difference on their lifespan there. So I think it's good that no, this isn't like in captivity. Obviously, their lifespan isn't going to be much longer, but they're still going to be doing better themselves. Like maybe they will start living longer in captivity now that they're not being forced to do these shows.
Yeah, it's mad. Like you never actually know of how these animals are being kept unless you're told. Like I always thought, my mistake. I always thought that they were having the time of their life doing their backflips, but I learned that it's not exactly true. But look at Andrew. What do you think as well, bro?
As Megan just said, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of like displeased. Like, who doesn't love to see an amazing dolphin show where dolphins or whales?
Pretty cool. It really is cool.
It's amazing stuff. But like, you have to think about the whole underneath, like what's going on, and like the point she just made, which is pretty amazing, which shocked me. Is like they live for about 13 years in captivity, but out in the wild they can live to 30 to 100 years. Like the percentage difference is immense.
Full century.
Like.
That's crazy, isn't it, man?
Yeah, so it's like I like before if you tell me, oh, they're getting rid of the shows, I'll be like, oh man, like I wish they wouldn't. But now I'm thinking like, you know what? Yeah, this should.
Have
be
you
free.
seen a show live anyway? I haven't seen one live. But
true, but it is like it's just the joy of seeing it on TV. But now, like,
joy, I love it, man. Wow.
But now, like I know like the truth behind it, and I know like it's better for them to leave them in the wild. Like it's better for them to fend for themselves. So it's like, yeah, okay.
Without doubt, man.
Get them out of captivity.
Definitely. But look, that is all we have for today's episode of Good News Nation. I hope you guys have enjoyed this segment. Again, I'd like to thank Pierce White for coming in, Bador for giving us her story, Megan and Andrew. Great having you guys here on our panel.
Thank you for having me.
I must say goodbye again. Till next time, guys. Have a nice one.